It's always bugged me that photographers get access to these amazing plugins where it's just one click and you get perfect retouching of a portrait, yet us video guys have been stuck with overpriced plugins which don't really deliver. They just smudge and smear the people's faces and look terrible. Well, today we're going to try out some plugins from Retouch4Me, and they are Dodge Burn OFX and Heal OFX, both the Resolve versions. And you can see for yourself if these ones finally deliver our video retouching solution. So let's check it out. So Heal tackles minor blemishes like pimples, scars, while Dodge Burn smooths shadows, textures, and contours without killing natural skin detail. So I'm going to show you a few examples that I found from some stock footage online. I don't like to use actual footage that I've used. It's a bit unfair on my clients to put their face on and go, look how we're getting rid of all of these blemishes. Okay, so let's try one of these and see what we can do. We're going to start with this one first. This one, the stock footage, was actually about acne and blemishes. So as you can see, it's quite clear. The footage is saturated to the extent where the blemishes really pop up and become very red. So let's put on the plugin. And we've got one node set up here. So let's try with Heal and see what that does. So we're going to put Heal on. And you can tell from the preview just over here that it's already worked quite quickly. And we're going to turn on node cache to make sure that we get some smooth playback over here. As you can see, it has done a pretty good job of getting rid of those blemishes. Something I did notice is this. You can still see skin detail, but if we play it through, here's where you're going to notice some of the shortcomings of it. If you look over here where her finger is, because her finger's there, it's actually stopping the software from identifying the blemish. So they suddenly appear and then disappear again. It's not very likely you're going to get a shot of somebody touching their face this much, particularly over the blemishes. So it's very unlikely, but it's good to know the kind of limitations of the software, that this might happen. But as you can see, just from looking through, it's doing a really great job of reducing the blemishes. I'm going to put in another node so that you can see, oh, let's actually just get rid of this one. And then we're going to put on Dodge Burn, so you can see the effect that that has in isolation. And what you'll see in the before and after is it hasn't hit the blemishes as much, but it's still smoothed them out quite a bit. It's doing a great job of removing the blemishes without actually using Heal beforehand, but it looks really good. And there is this lovely glow on her skin. It really does a great job of reducing that shine, filling in some shadows, and just giving a really nice, glamorous, luxurious glow to skin. So this great example of why it's going to be fantastic for wedding videographers and pornographers. Looks really good, and we're not losing skin detail. That is the main thing. All the other ones that I've taken a look at, you just lose skin detail, and it looks really obvious that something's going on and that you've applied something to it. So that looks great. So I did notice that for minor blemishes, Dodge Burn does a great job. Really cleans up the skin, and as well as having all of the other effects that it brings to the table. But for serious acne and blemishes, the Heal plugin does a much better job. Where the Dodge Burn doesn't fix the blemishes and acne and scars, Heal does. So it really is a much more effective tool for removing blemishes, whereas Dodge Burn has a kind of global effect and does other things as well. Something to note: if the footage is overly sharpened, then the plugin masking over the spots will show up as smudges compared to the rest of the image. Both plugins retain detail pretty well, but when somebody's over sharpened the footage or put a lot of clarity on it, or even it's just over sharpened like a shot on a phone, the plugin tries to blend, and you will really notice where the plugin has affected. So you really need to look out for this if you've sharpened your image a lot. And I would suggest, in fact, sharpening your image as the last step in the chain, or the last node in Resolve, if that's what you use, to make sure that you avoid that. So for a lot of my work with corporate and commercial clients, we're going to be doing interviews with people, and you don't want to have it really obvious that you've retouched the look. You want authenticity with this kind of thing because the viewer needs to trust the person and what they're saying. And if you go over the top with these plugins, you're really undermining that. So keep that in mind. You want to be quite subtle with it. And this is where a lot of other plugins fall down, is that it's not subtle. It's really obvious that something's happened. So when you put Dodge and Burn on a lower strength for interviews, it looks really good. It looks really convincing. You can't really tell much has happened to it. You can still see skin detail. It just looks great. For weddings, Dodge and Burn is going to be fantastic because on a wedding day, you're not going to be able to get perfect lighting in every scenario. And that's where this plugin will actually be useful because it fixes the kind of effect that poor lighting has on skin. And that also means good news for doing interviews. If you're doing run and gun interviews and you don't have time to do a full-on lighting setup, Dodge and Burn is going to really help with that. Just like their photo plugins, and there's a video on my channel about those already, the Dodge and Burn video plugin could actually turn out to be a lifesaver when it comes to poor lighting conditions or less than ideal lighting conditions for the shoot. The way the plugin improves the overall look of the subject, for example, harsh shadows or bags under their eyes, it means that if I've messed up the lighting or I've rushed the lighting, I can rely on the plugin to help me out in post. The hardware requirements, it's quite demanding. When I first started using it on my MacBook M1 Max 32GB, I found that it really stuttered. There we go, we put the plugin on, and let's see how it plays back. Oh, there you go, that's what it looked like. So you can see it is just super jittery. The solution to this is you activate node cache, so I'm just going to go into Resolve. So if you're struggling with jittery playback, what you need to do is go and right click on the node where you've got the Retouch4Me, Dodge and Burn or Heal plugins on, and then go down to node cache and turn that on. And that will give you smooth playback. The actual rendering time for this, it's very fast. So when you're actually offloading the footage with the plugins on it, it's very quick. I didn't notice any slowdown really. It's fast, it's pretty rapid. It's just really the playback. So node cache, turn it on. In terms of workflow, I work on Final Cut Pro, and I'm also very impatient when I'm doing my editing. I like things to be quite fast. So here's the workaround that I use. I process the individual clips for interviews in Resolve with the plugins, Heal and or Dodge and Burn. And then I render them out and bring them back into Final Cut Pro for editing. It works, but it's a bit clunky, and it's another extra step that you have to do. So that's why I wouldn't use it for everything. I'll just use it if the client really needed it or the footage really required it, or if they asked for it in particular. So Retouch4Me, if you are listening, please bring Heal and Dodge and Burn plugins natively to Final Cut Pro. My workflow and many others would seriously benefit from it. Plus, Final Cut Pro has a 10% greater market share than Resolve, so do it. So Retouch4Me's Heal and Dodge and Burn OFX plugins are very powerful and very useful, and will definitely make some of my projects better in the future. But they do come with some glitches, such as the smoothing when it's overly sharpened, or where the person touches the face or touches the blemish, it will reappear. But if you need polished skin retouching with just a click, then these are really powerful plugins to have. If you've tried these plugins yourself, please do share your experience in the comments below and let everybody who's researching and looking into whether this is a good investment for them know what you've been through, whether it's issues with the product or how it's helped you and helped your video, or even issues with the company itself. All of this is really useful for other people who are investigating and potentially investing in these plugins. So drop your experience in the comments below. I would really appreciate it. And I'm sure there's a lot of other people out there who would love to know your experience. So if you're somebody who's been researching these plugins or these types of plugins and you found this video useful, please do give this video a like to let me know that it's the kind of content that is useful. And if you want to purchase these plugins, there's an affiliate link in the description below which gives you 20% discount at Retouch4Me, and I get a bit of commission, so everybody wins. Alright, I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy.